There are 3 metro lines under construction in Sydney currently. And I'm not sure if there's just a lot of other news going on, and gosh, isn't there? But the media has been very quiet on progress. So hence I took myself out to find out again what progress has been made. And while driving over to Bankstown, I stopped in at the new Sydney Olympic Park metro station, part of the Sydney Metro West, a 24-kilometre underground metro railway. And this station, much like North Strathfield, is pretty impressive. It's great to see the station box that's completed, but the station building itself is the next step. With opening still nearly 7 years away, I understand why it's a bit of a go slow here. But let's focus on today's news, and that's the one closest to opening, and that is the Metro Southwest to Bankstown. We'll check in on the stations along the line, with the highlight being, again, plenty of action at Bankstown. I'm Marty, and welcome to Backtracks. And just a reminder that in September 24, the line between Sydenham and Bankstown was closed for 12 months to convert the former driver-operated trains to driverless metros. And in a prior video, we talked a little bit about the closure of the T6 line to re-extend the Bankstown railway station to 8-car length. So we'll have a look at that later in the video as well. So let's have a look at the stations along the line. We skipped Sydenham again, and we looked at Marrickville. I could honestly say I could have just played the video from my last visit 2 months back. I couldn't see that much had changed, other than the buildings near the station have been broken into, and it looks like people are sleeping rough inside them at night. And we head west to Dulwich Hill, and again, at platform level, little has changed except a train is going past this time. But the real action, like last time, was on the rail overbridge, where we saw concrete pour in the last visit. And now it's Bollard City, with new bollards either side of the road, with fencing yet to be installed. It's a really good upgrade to the station, and I'm looking forward to seeing the fencing installed, hopefully next time I visit. I skipped Hurlstone Park this time, as we covered that very well last visit with the new overhead bridge span having been installed. And the next station west is Canterbury. No workers here on the Sunday morning I visited. Unlike last time, there was plenty of work going on the station roofs, with substantial scaffolding giving access to the roofs and the chimneys of the station. All that's been removed now, and there's a shiny new roof and renovated station chimneys. I'm not sure whether these chimneys will ever see smoke again, but at least they're in no danger of falling down. And I know there's Campsie fans in the house. The good news, I visited this time. The bad news is I could have used footage from 2 months ago and you would not have noticed. I couldn't see any development here. And on to Belmore. It's also Bollard City, because the main action is happening on the station overpass. The barricades have come down, mostly now. And like Dulwich Hill, it's all about shiny new bollards. These are pretty substantial ones at that. And of course, now I can get a better view of the platforms, but not much to see, not much development. But as usual, I get a good look at the tracks here, and again, not much sign of metro train testing, judging by the rust on the rails. Lakemba was very quiet when I visited. I think perhaps some electrical work had been progressed, but not a lot of signs otherwise. And ditto for Wiley Park. Really not much left to do here except the station platforms. It feels like this station has been on hold for a couple of months. And same situation further along at Punchbowl. Although I didn't get up to the station overpass this time to peek down. But clear there's not much movement at the station. Thanks, Banjo. And like the Bulldogs in this NRL season, Bankstown again is not disappointing. Still the real heart of the transformation. And as we know, the T6 line between Lidcombe and Bankstown is temporarily closed for 9 weeks to allow for the rail upgrades, to extend the Bankstown station further west by 4 car lengths to 8 car lengths. And we're just a few weeks away from reopening, and you can see it was a hive of activity installing the new overhead power supply. The place was teeming with John Holland contractors, which of course made it a little bit difficult to film because I try not to get workers in shot, but hard not to capture them in this big moment. And the station platform itself basically looks completed except for surface level works. Perhaps bitumen will be laid, and you can see that the crossover tracks have been installed just to the west of the station. And back on the original platforms, it looks like work was focused on subsurface works, with the next stage being applying a new station floor. I also think that the station buildings have also had a bit of a clean. Maybe it's a bit of a sandblast because they are looking pretty fresh. And you can see that work has been progressed linking the station platforms with the new eastern entrance to the station. And as normal, we end the video by checking in with the new station entrances, both for the Sydney trains and for the metro station. And they've really come along again. You can see the scaffolding has basically come down on both structures, and the internal fit out has commenced with electric wires being installed, and you can also see that glass windows are being installed above the station entrances. And as I say, every video, these are pretty smart looking buildings. And work has also moved now to the groundworks and between the two buildings. I don't think we're long away from these buildings being completed. I think they will be completed way before the actual rest of the metro line is ready to open. Well, there you have it. A quick look again at the Bankstown and Southwest Metro line. It's still over 6 months away from opening, with no firm date being given, and I can't help but thinking there is something else we can't see that's slowing down that opening date. As most places on the line seem to have slowed down work, and at the Bankstown end is going so fast, that looks like it will be ready way before trains start running. Could it be that the trains themselves are not actually going to be ready because they're certainly going to need more to run the service, or something about the electrical or train management systems along the length of the line? There's not much news being shared, and if you have any idea, please share. And as normal, I hope you enjoyed this video, and please like and subscribe to BACKTRACKS.Trains if you haven't already, and hopefully we'll see you next time when we take another look at the growing Sydney Metro network. See you later.